The recording device is set.
I'm sleepy today.
Me
And we're
too.
live.
We're streaming now, so bye. Sorry. That's okay. Just letting you know.
Sorry.
He was like,
I
sorry.
didn't get to say hi to my baby. Tell her I love her.
Oh, yeah. I will. She needs a bath. We went swimming at my sister's complex today.
Is she here?
Yeah, she's been here for almost 2 weeks now.
What?
She got here last Monday. Yeah.
Hi. Hello, fellow West Coaster. Oh my god. I'm so... Okay. We totally have to hang out really, really soon.
Yes, please.
Ooh, next Friday is supposed to be like a genesode. We could do...
Well, we're supposed to be driving to Snohomish for that Ren Fair.
Oh.
I'm hoping our car's okay by then.
Okay. I don't know. We'll figure something out. We're going to the coast tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh. Right. Get the audio clips up. That would probably be a good idea.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Did you hear that?
I did not.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, that's why it's not supposed to be broadcast. There.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
There he
I
is.
heard that one. I heard Samwise, the legend. I have nothing right now. My brain is mush.
Samwise Gamer G.
Samwise Gamergy. There we go. Wait, where'd my wine go? I had wine.
Oh,
it's right here.
no, I cannot drink wine tonight. I think it would cause me to legitimately fall asleep on screen. Oh, fuck. Not good. Wake up.
My house Carl, as Benny is referring to himself now that he's like on summer break and is just like cooking dinner and being a house husband. He brought me wine.
Aw.
He's good like that. Okay.
Yeah. I need a house, Carl. It sounds nice.
It's nice. Ready.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Oh. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who is a little extra sleepy tonight.
I am also a little extra sleepy tonight. Oh, I'm Vervada, the girl who's like just going through it. This week has been so stressful and I don't feel good now and it's stupid.
Yeah. All the stupids.
You know what I really need is a healer because I'm sick. It's a good thing we're talking about one. It's my lame attempt bringing it to the episode instead of tangenting about how miserable I am.
Well, I mean, it is a good segue, but a little too early. You're prematurely segregating. I don't know.
There's a pill for that, hopefully.
If you're new here, welcome to the beautiful chaos. But you should know that our podcast centers on character and romance analysis and doesn't shy away from exploring the fun of fucking.
or from the deep emotional connections built between two or more characters using specific in-game dialogue. So if you want to stay spoiler-free, then this is not the podcast for you.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Thanks for the spoiler alert, N7. And just like with all of our previous episodes, we'll assume that you have some background knowledge of the game and character in question. But we'll be providing context for those of you who may be unfamiliar.
Today, we're still on the continent, but it's our last night here. And we're going to take a break from looking for Ciri in order to strike up a Faustian bargain and attend a wedding. There's a horny ghost, Geralt gets possessed, you chase a dog through a forest, and trick the devil, or at least what appears to be the devil. Who better to get sidetracked with than the original side chick herself? We're here to talk about the romance between Geralt of Rivia and Shani from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Oh, I don't know. My mother would never accept an unfit beau, even if I insisted I loved him, had chosen him.
What kind of beau's unfit?
So far, every kind.
You only ever bring home fiddlers, jugglers, and witchers?
No, but she'd want me to choose someone wealthy, or with a good trade, well brought up.
Nothing wrong with that, is there?
I guess not, but it's hard to find one like that who's still even slightly amusing.
That's probably true.
Tell that to my mother. She actually thinks I should have found a husband at the academy. But I didn't. Ugh. I'm certain she thinks there's something horribly wrong with me.
Oh, please, Shani. It's the 13th century. Women don't go to the academy to find a husband. They go to learn, pursue their passion. You did that. I'm sure your mother appreciates it. You got a doctorate, have your own practice, been at the front lines many times. You're a good person. Not a thing wrong with you.
Really think so?
Really.
Before I get into Shani, can I say thank you to Geralt? He is so feminist in this moment that I love him for it. Supporting Shani by praising her accomplishments, detailing out how much of a badass she is, and come on, it's the 13th century. You don't need a man to make your life complete. Hell yeah, Geralt. And while we are here to talk about their relationship, a lot of people know a lot about Geralt. So let's talk Shani. We haven't seen her since The Witcher 1, and she mainly appears in the DLC Hearts of Stone, bringing a sense of nostalgia and continuity to the players of the series. The last time Geralt and Shani were together she was about 19 or 20 years old. It's very young. And she was working in St. Lebioda's hospital in Vizima. Now that's Lebioda, not Lebioda. And she was treating victims of the Catriona, which is essentially victims of the plague. You could have romanced her instead of Triss in the first game, which you definitely should do because Triss is a nasty piece of work back then. But no matter what, Shani breaks up with Geralt between the first and second games. In the journal entry, which is written by Dandelion's point of view, it literally states, though a very young woman, Shani proved more mature than the Witcher, who always had found relationships puzzling and difficult. Geralt would dodge his obligations towards her, preferring instead to pursue the missions King Foltest assigned him. The medic quickly realized this flower would yield no bread. After splitting with Shani, the Witcher needed comforting and quickly found solace in Triss Marigold's arms.
Is anyone surprised by that? Also, this journal entry is such foreshadowing, just FYI. I mean, knowing Triss back then in with The Witcher 1, she was probably like just off stage waiting to swoop in when she saw her chance for when Shani dumped Geralt. Like, no matter what you do, she's just waiting. But anyway, let's not talk about Triss today. It's been about 2 years since Geralt last saw and last biblically knew Shani. And in that time, she has completed her doctorate and established a medical practice. She's just girl bossing. If there is one thing we know about Shani, and if you don't know, it will become increasingly apparent as we go on in this episode. But Shani prioritizes her medical practice above everything else. She is practical and she is realistic, mature in a way that continues to confuse poor, simple Geralt. So when Geralt goes into the Oxenfurt sewers to do what he does best, kill some monster, he didn't expect to run into Shani trying to resuscitate a Redanian soldier who unfortunately fell prey to that monster. Chivalry and his dick demand that he follow her and help her gather some venom so she can make an antidote, and that is how they reunite.
Serving the Redanian cause now?
I serve individuals. I treat them. That they're Redanians is coincidental. I'd help Nilfgaardians as well were I in a position to. Kedwenis, Edirnian, elves, dwarves, halflings, the same. Come on, Geralt. You know me.
Aside from the incident in the sewers, we last saw each other. Must have been in Vizima.
Yes. Yes. When it was ravaged by the Catriona.
Feels like a century ago. Where have you been? What have you been doing since?
Well, I left Vizima and returned to Oxenfurt, proceeded to finish my doctorate, and then opened a practice. Shortly thereafter, war broke out, and I was press-ganged into the Redanian Medical Corps.
Yeah, classic Radovid.
Can't complain, really. I've lived at home since the fighting subsided, resumed my practice, and simply treat the ill. Though I must always be ready, for at any time the Redanians might knock with some painfully urgent assignment.
Shani, I need your help this time.
I'd guess this wasn't a social call. All right. Tell me what you need.
So, in this DLC, Hearts of Stone, essentially Geralt becomes embroiled in a pact between Olegrid von Everick, a nobleman cause cursed with immortality, and one of the sexiest maybe villains I've ever seen in a video game, and Gaunter O'Dim, a mysterious devil figure capable of granting wishes at a terrible cost. Cue the Faustian bargains. Geralt is initially hired to kill this monster by Olegrid. Olgierd. Oh my gosh. And this is when it is revealed that he has a curse too. And Geralt's curse is he needs to feel Olgrid's 3 wishes. Fun, right? Our boy should be called the Wisher, not the Witcher. Geralt must complete 3 tasks to fulfill Olgrid's wishes. Recover an ancient house, spend an evening with Olgrid's deceased brother Vladimir, and obtain a rare and powerful rose. Each task requires navigating complex scenarios that explore themes of love, regret, and redemption. We are mainly going to focus on that second wish, spending an evening with Vladimir.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And Shani's skills as a medic are essential for some of these quests, which highlights her intelligence, dedication, and resourcefulness. Like, that's pretty apparent if you spend any amount of time with her, that those things are her wheelhouse. Her medical knowledge often aids Geralt in unconventional ways, which emphasizes her value beyond being a romantic interest. I personally would argue that Shani's value has always primarily been that of a healer, a caregiver, aligning with her own personal priorities. Being someone's girlfriend would be nice, but is not necessary for Shani, although she's definitely viewed by the players mostly of a fan service character, especially in this DLC. Shani's past relationship with Geralt allows the story to explore themes of nostalgia, the road not taken, in other words. And it is this current relationship that helps Shani more clearly see her future path. In order for the road ahead to be made visible for Shani, she must first attend a wedding.
Never seen this side of you.
What side is that?
How do I put this? Your romantic side? Used to seeing you surrounded by bandages and medicine vials, often covered in blood.
Well, that's because you usually come round while I'm at work. Off duty now. Waiting for you, weaving a garland for the wedding.
A wedding? Whose?
A dear friend's. From the academy. Speaking of which, would you go with me?
Wait. That was your notice?
What notice?
The one posted by the 7 cats. Need a beau to accompany me to a friend's wedding. If any intelligent, amusing, handsome, none too old nor none too young man owning at least one decent-looking frock.
No, that's not mine. So, will you go with me or not?
Sure, why not?
Wonderful. So, it's a date.
A dear friend, you say? I love little gems like that. Now, this quest is called Dead Man's Party. Great Oingo Boingo song, and also a great side quest. One of the wishes involves making sure that the ghost of Olgred's brother, Vladimir, has a fun night out on the town. So, Geralt lets him possess his body for a corporeal party time. 'Cause that's sane. Vladimir's lively and rakish personality contrasts pretty heavily with Geralt's usual stoic demeanor, resulting in some truly humorous moments. The wedding serves as a microcosm of broader themes in the expansion: love, morality, and the passage of time. It's a rare moment where Geralt can let his guard down and experience a semblance of normalcy, reflecting the potential for happiness in life often dominated by danger and duty.
Geralt, wake up! Open your eyes! Where are the smelling salts?
Death was a small price to pay to lie on a lap so lovely, and so near the wonders concealed a bit higher.
Have you gone mad?
Yes, as soon as I laid eyes on you, promised to stay and stroke my chin, and I shall spend the rest of eternity in a hound's body, trotting along by your well-turned calves.
Geralt, what's happened to you?
Geralt? I'm Vladimir.
What?
Blast. Fine, give me a moment. Yeah, definitely don't like being possessed.
You'd not have fainted had you not resisted so fiercely.
So if it's not obvious from that, Geralt does not sound like Geralt when he's being possessed. I mean, this quest is very entertaining. It's funny to see Geralt act in such an un-Geralt manner and like say things that he would never normally say. But you got to remember, Shani, remember, listener, it's not Geralt. That's why it sounds like that. He will try to woo Shani with honeyed words. He'll ply her with flowers, drink, and dance. But he is not the man she has loved in times past. He is a spoiled noble rake who was only interested in earthly delights when he was alive, and that hasn't changed in death. That's a big critique of this DLC romance, is that most of it is not actually Geralt and Shani. It's Vladimir and Shani. And Shani actually grapples with this later in the quest towards the end of the wedding when O'Dim has to forcefully banish Vladimir's ghost from possessing Geralt because he doesn't want to go back. Duh, he's having fun. She realizes that she got caught up in the spirit of the wedding and maybe forgot who she was with for a time. We said earlier this wedding serves as a microcosm of the themes in the quest, but it also serves as a microcosm of the last time Geralt and Shani were together like this. They were younger, the stakes weren't quite so high, and it was just like a fun moment. They are star-crossed lovers in all but name. Shani and Geralt are not meant to last. They aren't pulled together by some djinn wish or some powerful magic. They're just two people who are attracted to one another. But they do indeed get to act on that one time during this DLC.
Row me to the moon.
Gotta fly to get to the moon.
You're dead wrong. Look, it's right there, in the middle of the lake. What are you doing?
What one usually does on the moon.
I will get to my breakdown in just a moment. But knowing what I know now, this scene looks very different to me. That Easter egg that they put in 2077 about the last wish and about the moon? Oh yeah, Geralt, you have to fly to the moon and then you get to spend time with your loved ones? My head is spinning. And I swear only like 3 people will get this, but whatever, it's fine. Can't have me, co-host of Cyberpunk Lorecast, on this show talking about moments that happen in The Witcher, which is my other co-host's show, that tie back to Cyberpunk, and for me not to point it out. Because my red tape Charlie Day here is going a little crazy. Okay. Back to what actually happens next in this scene and not the implications in my head. Because damn, this is a good one. Not only is the scenery gorgeous, but we get to hear Geralt moaning and groaning, which is something that the other scenes didn't get. Now, what does one do on the moon? Well, you pull your girl in by the back of the neck for a long kiss while the camera pans up to the moon. I fully expected for the scene to end just in that moment. DLC romances are notorious for being short. But oh no, we get a full minute and 22 seconds of a scene. That's a long one. When the camera returns back to the boat, Geralt and Shani are both fully undressed. Shani straddling the hips of our Witcher while they explore each other with the sweetest of kisses. She then slides away so she is lying on her back, and while her head is being propped up by a bench in their boat, her green eyes shine in the moonlight, and the pinks of her pink nipples are on display. Geralt goes to town, landing kiss after kiss along her face, neck, chest, and then lower and lower and lower until he roughly yanks at her hips, bringing her all the way flat onto her back as he does a bit of a body crawl. Seeing Geralt from this angle, basically seeing exactly what it would look like if he was on top of us. Oh, it doesn't get much hotter. Then Shani shoves at his shoulder, and he obliges. He grabs her and rolls their body both over to where now Geralt is on his back, and Shani is riding him. There's laughter and desire, giggling and kisses, moans and groans, the sounds of true lovemaking. The scene begins to fade as we see Geralt place both of his very large hands on Shani's cute, tiny, perky peaks and gives her all the attention that she deserves.
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that once again. Me and Jen actually messaged each other about this scene like yesterday because we were kind of surprised at how much you could hear like their breaths and the moans and stuff like that is not something you got with Yennefer or Triss. So Shawnee was paid extra special attention for this scene in particular. But I mean, it's not really surprising. A lot of people very much consider her to be like the hot friends with Benny thing that like the booty call for Geralt.
Yeah.
So kind of like Kira. So it it was very well done though. I think it was handled well. And I must say my favorite part was the fact that Geralt was not being possessed by Vladimir. Like she was with Geralt. This was all just the two of them. That was great because she didn't get a lot of that in this DLC. The morning after scene, the end of this cutscene is Shawnee. It's tinged with sadness. Shawnee's sitting alone on the boat that they had used to row out to the middle of the lake, and she's looking towards the rising sun and is already fully dressed, and Geralt is not. He like wakes up half naked and sees her there. She's thinking. She's starting to realize that her path in life has merely crossed briefly with Geralt's path yet again, but they don't travel together for long. Speaking of Geralt's normal life, the path a witcher must follow, his romance with Shani is distinct from Geralt's relationships with Yennefer and Triss. It offers a grounded and realistic portrayal of love and companionship. Shani represents a chance for Geralt to explore a simpler, more down-to-earth relationship, devoid of the supernatural complications present in his other romances. A normal relationship with a normal human woman. The romance also explores deeper emotional layers, focusing on the inherent tensions between personal desires and professional responsibilities. Shani's commitment to her medical career and Geralt's wandering, transient lifestyle pose challenges to their relationship and reinforces the theme of being careful what you wish for. The romance ultimately highlights the reality of their separate paths. Shawnee's dedication to her work and life in Oxenfurt contrasts with Geralt's life as a witcher, leading to a bittersweet parting that feels both realistic and respectful of their individual choices.
Wedding's still in full swing, but your face, I'd say you were at a funeral. Why so sad?
Sad? Not really. It's just... After I caught the Garland, I realized something. The years are flying by, yet all I ever do is study, pump stomachs, and reattach limbs. All alone.
You got me.
For how long? A day? 2? Don't get me wrong. It's nice, but you come and go. Yet I need someone who'll be there every night when I come home. After a day of bandaging wounds and sewing up guts, I need a good glass and a good laugh with someone who'll help me forget it all for a moment.
I get it. And yeah, could never be there for you every day. but I am happy to see you always. And today, I'm all yours.
Well, in that case, let's drink to tonight.
To tonight. May the moment last.
This is such an adult conversation. I freaking love it. These are my needs. I know that you're not going to be able to meet them, but I also don't want to give up on this friendship, this really awesome thing that we have going on here. But I know that neither of us are going to get fully emotionally invested. It's great. Now, the romance with Shani is heavily imbued with themes of nostalgia. Their interactions, like the one in this clip we just played, often reflect on the past, emphasizing how both characters have changed and grown apart. This contrasts with Geralt's relationships with Yennefer and Triss, which are more focused on the future and the current ongoing conflicts. Unlike Yennefer and Triss, whose relationships with Geralt are deeply intertwined with his destiny, and therefore the main plot of the game, Shani represents a more fleeting connection. This is reinforced by the fact that regardless of the player's choices, their romance doesn't have a lasting impact on the main storyline of the game, and they don't end up together in the end. She was willing to try again, but she was also, once again, the mature party who realizes pretty quickly that, yeah, for sure, this flower will yield no bread. Like Odim said, women are simple, but men are hopeless fools. She just wants someone who will be there for her at the end of the day. Every day. And that will never be Geralt.
Said you needed to think things over. Have you?
Yes. I decided you're incredibly sweet, but...
But we're better off keeping things as they were.
You're always going places, and they're likely to ship me off soon. Besides, we tried once, and you know how that worked out.
You're right. But promise to share a bottle of wine with me from time to time.
Of course. I tell you what, I'll keep one handy.
You said everything I already think is it was just so maturely handled. I'm almost not used to it because Geralt is usually so immature when it comes to women, despite his age and grizzled appearance. He always handles it like a college bachelor, you know? Like things just happen and he like wanders from place to place and led by his dick, and just because he's attractive and a witcher, he gets some all the time easily, and doesn't really have to have any kind of commitment until this game. And even if you, the player, want him to be with Shani, you can't. And I like that because Shani, despite the fan service she's been labeled as, she is really cute. She's been there since Witcher 1. Like, a lot of people don't really like this romance because of the fact that Geralt was possessed for a lot of it. It's only DLC, and you can't stay with her. So people like, oh, they just forced it in there for people who played The Witcher 1 and like liked Shani and thought she was hot from back then. But I don't know, maybe, but I think it really tracks with who Geralt is as a person to like, I mean, he randomly found Shani and he's like, oh, hey, we used to bang. You want to bang again? And she's just like, sure, because why not? You know, I mean, it's only been 2 years. She's still a young lady. And she's still the same mature person she was 2 years ago, though, who can recognize, like, this is fun. I like it when you're here, but I know you're not who I want to be with. Like, you aren't boyfriend material, and you're definitely not husband material, Geralt. And he takes it so well. It's brilliant. I love it. And that's, to me, what makes it feel like Shani has agency and is a real person, because she makes that choice. It feels like a genuine choice she chose to do, to not be with Geralt at all. And I think it models really good behavior of how well to take rejection. And he gave her space to decide. This wasn't the first time they talked about it. We didn't play all the audio clips, obviously, but like, he had asked her before and she's like, I need to think about it. And he's like, cool. And so next time they talked, he checked in like, hey, have you thought about it? It's just all around so well done. And then that very first clip we played where he's like, gassing her up, like, girls, the 13th century, like, you can do whatever you want. You don't need to go to the academy to find a husband. Like, I loved that so much, because when do you get to hear him say that? Like, he's surrounded by these amazing, powerful women, but he never speaks on it, really. It's just kind of given. And I love that he said something about it for Shani. That was great. It's good. I don't think you have to. Okay. As a soulless mancer, I don't believe you have to end up happily ever after to have a good romance. There, I said it.
Oh no, I agree with that statement. I fully agree with that. I'm an Anders Mancer. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know, with our powers combined.
So, no, I totally get that. And you don't have to have the happily ever after in order for the relationship, the the in-game moments to have real depth and meaning to them. What that opening clip was amazing. I love the way that Geralt talked to her. I love the way that she's like, "Oh yeah, am a badass and I don't need a husband." Like, so good. Mm, okay. Sorry, I have to rearrange here. I haven't done this in many, many a game, but this game here lets me really put on my sex analysis hat, and I'm excited for this. Now, the three scenes that we have discussed so far, Yen, Triss, and Shani, are all very, very different. They have different tones, different emotionality, different locations, different everything. With Triss, their scene felt secretive and like you had to hide it. It was almost an exploration of a new love. It felt new, and in some ways it was. This was the first game that Geralt got to choose Triss. Geralt made the decision knowing everything he knows now and chose Triss. The sex, to me, reflected that in, yes, I know your body, but we have to explore what each other likes now. This is why Triss and Geralt had missionary sex. It was basic as fuck. But you start with the basics and learn and build from there. Their relationship was new. Start with the new sex. With Yennefer, it was practiced. It wasn't routine or mundane, but it also had a sense of familiarity. There was no need for shy giggles. There was no need for timidity. This is our Yen. We know her. She knows us. We can use bedroom accessories without having to have a conversation. Yenna knows our safe word. We don't have to have a conversation about it. This is a lover who we trust, and the sex shows that. With a look, with a glance, with a touch of the thigh, Geralt and Yen can read each other's bodies like no other. And we see that in the sex. With Shani, it's not new. It's also not decades of experience. It's fresh and exciting, yet also nostalgic. The way that they communicated to each other within this scene through the sounds truly solidified it for me that they have a great friends with benefits relationship. They had an ease to their sex. They were comfortable with each other. There wasn't anything awkward or timid, but there was still a sense that I want to explore you. And I know that you like this right here, and my lips going there and squeezing right there. It was great. Hats off to CDPR and everyone involved with making these 3 sex scenes so unique and really showing the 3 different types of relationships Geralt can have. But there is a 4th scene and a 4th woman and a brothel that we have yet to talk about. But before we get to Kira Metz, let's take a quick little mid-break. Mid-break dance. Whew, I feel like I just talked for like a really long time and now I have to go into the mid-break and do more talking.
Like you have a podcast where you're supposed to talk the whole time.
Okay, maybe, yeah. Fun facts. Shani is voiced by Susanna Fielding, known for lots of British TV shows that V didn't recognize despite her BritBox subscription. Now, she did voice Amy Simpson in the Forza Horizon games and Jill in Final Fantasy XIV. She also provided voices for Cyberpunk 2077. As an unlisted character, trust me, I scoured the fucking internet and could not find what voice besides additional that she provided. She was also in the Sea of Thieves and many other things.
Sorry, I was responding in chat. Whoops. Now I need to get back to that. There we go. Okay, next fact about Shani. She will often say that she studied at the prestigious Oxford University. Like, yes, we know, girl. But the games like don't explain her somewhat controversial past affording the tuition at the academy. She apparently would steal supplies from the school and sell them on the side for extra cash. And damn, girl.
You know what? We support women's rights and women's wrongs on this podcast. So,
Yes. Accurate.
in the books, Shani eventually becomes the dean of Oxenford Academy and lives to the ripe old age of 90. Which for a human is really fucking old in this game.
Yeah, because Witchers are like capped at 150, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And that's longer than a human. But, makes sense for a medic that, in this kind of environment, in that economy, you just wash your hands regularly and you've already added 10 years onto your life. But, okay, next fact. This one's juicy. So, Dandelion and Shani may have had a relationship other than just platonic friendship. Because Dandelion also attended Oxenford University and originally met Shawnee when Dandelion was being followed by Redanian spies, and like to throw them off the scent, he saw Shawnee and just started flirting with her. And the rest was history. That is how they met. According to book lore, Geralt was not her first relationship, so a lot of people seem to think it could have been Dandelion. You never know.
I fully believe that her and Dandelion hooked up like that. That to me is canon. They were together. All right. Spotify. Our dear, lovely two girls, one ship listeners. We are at 199 ratings on Spotify. So close to that 200 goal. Now, technically, and in all actuality, Cyberpunk won the the race to 200, because we're now at 203. So we're beyond. He's giving me so many looks right now. Okay, our 200th rater was Toasty's wife, which is a little bit cheating, but also not, because now we're at 203. So, Cyberpunk won.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you guys.
But I will also say that the girls have a higher ranking. Like, we have more stars than Cyberpunk. Our rank is higher, even if we have less ratings.
It's because we have really awesome people who listen to us, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there are the basement dweller Chads chugging monsters who accidentally find their way onto the Cyberpunk and hear like some feminism or something. They're like, "Ah," and then rate it bad or something. That probably
Oh,
won't happen to us. You never know.
yeah. Like the guy who called me a whore in Spotify comments.
I want to know where they live for research purposes.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved that. And I tried. I used all my FBI tools and couldn't find him.
Listen, bitches like that have to rely on whores because they would get absolutely zero if there wasn't a woman who was willing to sell. Okay? So, and he's just jealous that you aren't that person. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Get a new
It's it,
joke, bitch. It's fat or whore. Wow. Creative. Heard it before.
mm.
Florals for spring, groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking. Mm. Yeah. Let's move on to something happy, and give special shout outs, big love, major hearts, all the thank yous to Toasty and Apollo, Becky and Daddy Bat Night, Stone Miss Theos and Muffiny Cake, Win, Evie from HR, and Magister Davida. Yay!
Thank you so much. You're the best, as per usual. And you know what's even better about our Patreon people is that they would never call you a whore. So
In very
that's like the
specific context, I could totally see it.
yeah.
If somebody
Like
goes,
boo
ooh,
you
boo, you
whore.
whore.
It's the only time.
Right? So I totally accept that one.
Yeah. That's so funny. Cass. I just saw in the chat. Yeah. They're the best. We have the best listeners. Oh, okay. Jen, are you
Sorry.
sorry, just
Oh,
kidding.
no, I need a minute because my brain is still laughing at the fact that we in sync perfectly said, boo, you whore, with like the same inflection and everything. And I love you so much for that.
I love that. It's because great minds think alike. Okay. Jen, are you ready to discuss our final thoughts on The Witcher 3 romances? And also, you have specific things to discuss, starting with a breakdown of Kira Metz's sex scene.
Yes. Kira Metz. We call Shani the side piece or the booty call. I'm sorry. She's not really. In comparison to Kira, Shawnee is like girlfriend material. Because at least with Shawnee, you have more than 2 conversations, your quest line is more than 20 minutes long, and she appears in 2 games. So, Kira is also a very powerful sorceress in her own right, and I am throwing no shade at her whatsoever. She is a badass. She can conjure and illusion with the best of them and was trained. But she's just a sex scene in this game. And that kind of bums me out. But let's bring it back just a little bit. You get to go with Kira to clear out a tower that has some magic residue in it. And she is super afraid of rats. Absolutely despises the little fuckers. And so she needs Geralt to help battle her fears of being surrounded by these little creepy crawlers and clear out a mage's tower. After that, and you decide how things are going to go, you can flirt with her and flirt hardcore, which leads to this.
Thank you once again, Geralt, for your help with the tower. You were fabulous.
Not the first curse I've lifted.
But among the most difficult, correct? What happened on that island? Why I shiver at the thought. And the laboratory. I sincerely hope you burnt everything. The cages, the corpses, the papers.
Didn't destroy that workshop, if that's what you're asking. Didn't see any reason to.
If Alexander's findings were to fall into the wrong hands. Although, Vikyle has a terrible reputation. None even dare go there. Perhaps there's nothing to worry about. I'm sorry. Such a gloomy subject to broach. I simply shouldn't have, not during our romantic dinner.
Romantic? Thought we came here as friends.
Friends. With benefits. So?
Your fairy tale, your rules.
Really? Then close your eyes and count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's enough.
The game of hide and seek for a Witcher is nothing. Oh my gosh, just open your site and track the footprints. It takes all of 2 seconds to find her ass. No, she awaits for you on the shoreline, but she has no prize other than herself to offer for winning the game of hide and seek. It's almost like I had it planned that way. In the shortest of all of the scenes, the camera fades to black and then reopens to Kira on her back and Geralt's on top of her. A few giggles, and then a very awkward time jump camera switch, and now they're both standing hip to hip facing each other. Okay, alright. Geralt gives her ass a nice little squeeze, but weren't we just on the ground? It then fades to black again, to Kira rolling Geralt over onto his back, and then another fade and return to Kira back on the ground, and then in the cheapest porno, it was horrible. Like literally, the subtitle says UNGH, UNGH.
Gross.
A few little bouncy movements before they even had jiggle mechanics, so her boobs looked like stiff cardboard, and final fade to black. Honestly, it's really disappointing and something that I had way different in my head. I thought the scene was hot when I first watched it, but now, 10 years later, I've seen better.
Sorry, I was like looking and I forgot that this is it now. Yeah, I think I did this when I played The Witcher 3 a long time ago, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, I wasn't the target audience for this, so it didn't really matter to me at all." And I don't know why anyone would really like it other than just you're like, "Heh, my guy got some, heh," but like, and then in the same game, you got Yennefer throwing shade at the village herbalist, and you're like, poor Kira, she is really cool. Um, 2 out of the 3 times she tries, she can turn a mouse into a horse. She says it's because the spell has a 2/3 chance of, or a 1/3 chance of not working. But yeah, poor mouse. Where did it go? Who knows? We'll never know. And it's just gross. I don't know. Like, why bother? Was this supposed to be like an homage to collecting cards from The Witcher 1, where you just had like an encounter?
Kind of, I guess, because there are no Witcher cards in 2 or 3. And I think this really was just a let's add in a side fuck. Like, that's all this really is. But, I mean, on the other hand, though, if you don't travel this path with Kira, because if you have sex with her, that's not the best outcome. If I remember correctly, having sex with her isn't the best. The best route is helping her through the quest line, and then at the end, she will join you in the final battle at Kaer Morhen, and then she actually hooks up with either Eskel or Lambert. Now I can't remember all the details. Toasty's gonna kill me. So she ends up with another one of the Witchers.
Yeah, she does. I think it's Lambert. I remember seeing that. But you have to make sure she survives, first of all, because she can die. You can come upon Triss like cradling her corpse because Radovid kills her if you don't do something right. So make sure
Right.
if you're playing this game.
You can also
Yeah.
piss her off enough that she attacks you,
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
Geralt has to kill her.
Yeah, so that is I think the best ending for her because it seems like she gets an actual romance out of it if she goes to Kaer Morhen and she starts dating, I think it's Lambert. But don't quote me on that because I primarily looked at Shani this week. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want to do that, like whatever, I guess, but it's not the kind of impactful thing we like to see when it comes to video game romance and intimacy. It really just feels like a half-assed porn scene.
Not even like half-assed, like maybe a quarter.
Yeah, which is in stark contrast to the 3 we already talked about.
Right?
They're very well done.
Even with Shawnee being an add-on later through an expansion, but still, Yen and Triss really got detailed stuff. And even the brothel workers have better sex scenes with them. Now, they're all the same regardless of which girl you pick, human, short, tall, elf, anything like that. It's all the same. And it is very similar porny noises, but they're sex workers. It's their jobs to be over the top, and make you feel good. That's their whole purpose. Um, so And I think there's like 2, maybe 3 variations, depending on which brothel you go to and what the scene is going to look like. But I think those were better blocked and choreographed than these ones. The fact that you start standing facing each other, fully clothed, then you're on the ground, then you're standing back up, then you're on the ground, then you're rolling over, then you get Kira throwing her head back and making porn noises, and then fade to black. It's like, this is a jumbled mishmash of you got your clips out of order.
Yeah. Oh well. It is what it is. It definitely once it that having this in there is really what makes it that's like old Geralt behavior. Just like coming upon a sorceress and she's like, wanna fuck? And he's like, mm-hmm. And that's it. Like he's just like, well, the vaginas are plentiful and I'm here. Like that's Geralt. It just comes to him. That's why I prefer, there's a huge debate, Triss versus Yennefer for Witcher 3. You can't go wrong. He's choosing whoever you want. Me personally, I'm gonna choose Yennefer for no other reason. Like if actually you can choose either, but like Yennefer just has the better romance in terms of what we look at. It's more content, it's more embedded in the main story. It feels more like a real relationship. You're definitely rewarded for it. I wish the others were treated with that same care. I know it's such a huge cost. It's thankfully becoming so much more of a common thing for developers to prioritize because they have seen the reward from fans when it comes to the romances. Like this game came out, what, 2015, 2014? I think it's 15.
Yeah.
It's an older game now. I think the romances in it are ahead of its time, quite frankly. Like the only other game in that era that had anything in comparison to this was Dragon Age Inquisition and Mass Effect, which had already finished coming out by then, and Andromeda was going to come out later. And Andromeda, I don't think had as good of relationships. Like they kind of took a backslide with BioWare did for the Mass Effect IP, sorry. Anyway,
Mass Effect lumbar puncture?
no, it's something on my work lesson plan.
Oh.
Intellectual property. That's what I meant. Mass Effect. That BioWare was really the only one doing relationships like that at that time until CDPR was like, "Let me try. Hold my beer." And they're doing great. And we've only gotten better. So I'm really glad about this. I'm glad that we're getting better. I'm sad Kira didn't get like a moment to shine really. And yeah, I think Shani is side chick just because like he calls upon her multiple times and like Kira was just like a one night stand. She calls them friends with benefits, but I have no evidence that they've ever been friends before this.
I
So
think
I
in the
think they're
books,
really
because
just that.
yeah, I think they hooked up in the books.
I'm sure they did because that's Geralt. That's like what he does, which is why I
Right.
like that in The Witcher 3 he can choose to settle down if you want, and you can pick Triss or Yennefer, but those are your only options for settling down.
I think the final thing that I wanted to talk about Geralt and why he is such a fucking sex magnet. Okay. This is canon, not my brain. Geralt is a vibrator. And what I mean by that, I know, yeah, he's legitimately a vibrator.
Wait, say more.
Witcher magic is very, very different to any other type of magic that is used by sorceresses, witches, alchemists, herbalists, seers, and soothsayers. All of them use pretty much the same type of magic. The druids also use a different kind of magic. So you have your witch class, you have your druid class, you have your witcher class. When two magics interact with each other, there's a vibration, a ringing, a humming throughout the body when the magics interact peacefully together. So the reason that so many of the sorceresses want to hook up with Geralt is because when they have sex, both of their bodies vibrate on a magical frequency. I don't remember which it was, but said he vibrates inside of me, and it's like nothing I've felt before.
Yeah, okay, I can see it. It's giving like gentle Mass Effect field from a biotic, like cadence
Mm.
advantage.
Yes. Yes. Very, very Caden. Your miniature biotic fields and make me hum.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that Geralt is hot.
So is Caden. But yeah,
Yeah.
Geralt too.
I'm just
There,
looking at what Cass said. Give me
give me
Caden and Geralt or
Caden,
give me
Geralt, or give
death.
me death.
Yeah. Give me little death, please. Thank you.
Oh, yes. I need the little death. I'm also kind of sad to be moving away from Witcher because I've been looking at my boy in his bathtub right here this whole time. And
With his little ducky.
with his little ducky, and I love him. And I also think I finally figured it out.
Hmm.
I do have a physical type. I love the white haired and like the platinum blonde. The blonde, so blonde it's almost white.
Are you just
It's,
figuring that out?
you know what? It took me a really long fucking time to figure out that over a majority of the romances that I've done, they either have like no hair because they've got horns or are alien, or they're white haired.
Me, same girl, same. Sephiroth. That's like been my, oh my God, my first one. I love Sephiroth forever. Also, Fenris, Solus, no hair, Astarion, love Geralt. Like, it's a thing.
Sephiroth, Geralt, Astarion, Zevran,
Sesshomaru. Oof, Sesshomaru.
Ciri, somebody that I wish was romanceable, you know. I Anders. There
He's a
are a lot of
strawberry blonde. Anders. He's practically a ginger. He's up there
is
with
he?
Alistair. I
Okay.
thought he was Alistair at first when he was introduced in Awakening, but then he was talking about kittens, and I knew it couldn't be. And I was like, wait, is this better Alistair? And then he just got worse, and I was sad.
Yeah, no. It just took me a while. I've never like put all my lovers
Yeah,
in a
that's a
lineup.
thing. Now, if we talk about also book boyfriends, I have quite a few silver, white, platinum blonde headed people. Draco Malfoy. Yes.
Mm.
Oh, no, 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 no. You don't
No,
understand. Oh, you don't understand.
I think it's because I read the Harry Potter series after I was already out of high school that I could
Oh,
never
maybe.
see any of them as like a lust object because I was like, you're a
Well,
literal fucking child.
you should read Manacled. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
It's some good fan fiction, okay? It's an
Okay.
art. There's
Okay.
some really, really, really good Draco and Hermione fan fiction out there. Anyway, let's talk about something else. So, Geralt, yeah, we love him. And honestly, I'm not going to argue who's better. I like Triss in The Witcher 3 a lot. I wish Triss got just as much romance content as Yennefer. She did not, alas. So it is my professional opinion that you should romance Yennefer, but that's what I will do because I like having content. I want to romance the person I get lots of shit to do and to see. And I don't always pick that person because I've picked Solus, and I barely got anything romancing him other than a lot of heartbreak. I still love it though. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's why you picked Shani. It ended up mutually like amicable. So, and like she's not trying to kill everybody. So honestly, if you romance Shani, you're smarter than me.
Yeah. For me, it really is the what type of relationship are you looking for? Are you looking for the relationship with Yen where it's like you love her and she's been your long-term partner. Things are practiced and they're easy and you're just no. Or do you want Triss, where things are new and you get to learn and explore and figure things out together and start fresh? Or do you want Shani, where it's a great balance between we have a past, we have a future, and now we're just living in this moment. So,
I feel like Shani is the girlfriend that many people playing the game wish they could have in real life because she could exist in real life. Yen
mhm.
really can't because there's no magic, just like Triss, you know? And like Triss and Yen both fit with Geralt because they fit in the world that you're in. They fit in the stakes of the game. They fit power balance wise. And Shani is just a human lady, like walking around with all these monsters, with all these magic wielders and witchers, and she's just a normal ass person. And Geralt can kind of cosplay being a normal ass person with her, but it's not real, which is why it can't last. Like Geralt just can't be normal. And she, as we know, lives a really long, happy, healthy life without him. So, if anything, she's got some real good stories for the rest of her life.
I don't think I can top that. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you like what you are hearing, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes or on Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can now find me on the Cyberpunk Lorecast with my co-host Toasty, where we explore the foundations of the past, the state of Night City today, and the news of the future for all things cyberpunk. Check out Scyther Audio's newest fan-made production, The Avengers, the audio drama. And you can also reach me in our Two Girls, One Ship channel on the Robots Radio Discord. Come give us a follow on all the social medias and on patreon.com/twogirlsoneship. Our theme music was composed by the ever-talented Pipe Man Studios, and our artwork was designed by the esteemed Let's Not. Links are in the description.
I am also on the Robots Radio Discord and on our own Two Girls, One Ship Discord server, where we nerd out on all our favorite CGI significant others. Be sure to check out our live streams on Twitch on Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So thanks for listening, and remember,
Beauty is in the eye of the controller. Yes. But it's fun
you
because
can
now we
really
get to do
dance.
Mass Effect Andromeda. That's our next game.
Andromeda.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so
Anyway,
tired. I know. I'm like, normally we'd stay and chit chat for longer with chat and everything, but we are both so tired, and I have to wake up super freaking early tomorrow.
why?
We're going to the coast.
Oh, right. You
So
said
it's for
that.
like,
Sorry.
it's going for good, happy reasons, but yeah,
You have to drive
just,
there.
yeah. So I'm gonna work on editing, get this to you tonight, so that way I could be at my mom's at like 8 o'clock. Ugh, fuck me. I'm so glad that I was able to hold all that in until now, though,
Yeah.
because editing out yawns would have been.
You're already going to have to edit out yawns and coughing and clearing my throat because I'm kind of sick.
Ugh,
Still, so it's
okay.
fun. Aw, right,
Everybody's
cat?
sleepy.
Yeah. My sister fell asleep, I think, too, because she was here and I don't know where she is now. Not here. Probably asleep. She watched my child for a while today while we were dealing with car issues. And
Mm.
she texted me her boyfriend like passed out after we took my daughter back. And she's like, she really tired him out. And I'm like, can't hang with us non-parents, you know? It's so wild to
Right?
me, you know? Like, you had her for like 2 hours and you're tired. That's nothing.
That is so beginner move. You have to pace your time. You can't just go full 100%
For real.
playtime
He'll
for
learn.
6 hours.
He better learn. They're my babysitters now.
Yeah. Go pace
It
yourself.
happens. Mhm. Thank you for
Okay.
joining us tonight, chat.
Ah.
Nighty night.
Bye.